what other tips would you have for those strength and conditioning coaches looking to build out a career like yours?
I actually wrote a paper, sort of a qualitative research paper that was published in the Journal of Australian Strength and Conditioning. It was in 2015, so it's a little while ago now, but I sort of also presented it at the conference, at the ASCA conference later that year. It was like something around like factors considered important by managers to gaining employment in high performance sport. So, like I said, I spoke to GMs and head coaches about what they want in a high performance manager. So, but I mean, it was a little while ago now, but I think some of the findings from that would be somewhat still applicable. 77% of them said that the ASCA qualification or an accredited coach is something that they'd, be looking for in terms of those industry-based accreditations. Practical coaching experience was the big one. 100% of them said that people that they look for would need practical coaching experience, especially with athletes.
How has your reconditioning philosophy sort of evolved over the last sort of decade? You mentioned like a holistic approach and integrating everyone, for that athlete-centered approach.
Yeah, it's a great one. Early days, I was very much like rehab the injury. It's a shoulder, so rehab the shoulder, or it's a hammy, so rehab the hammy. Like work off the prognosis and the time expected to, return, and you build out a program from there. But then that progressed really relatively quickly to really a criteria or milestone-based approach, and supported by, using the tech and objective testing, and, that helps guide your progressions and, the athlete's readiness to take the next step and those types of things. And I mean, the underlying factor is like you have to respect tissue healing, and, time is important there, but there's also criteria and milestones that, athletes, they show that they've got the capacity to hit that, and, that might help you accelerate some of the different phases of rehab. So developed from that, and then really laid on the mental, psychological considerations for each individual as well on top of that. And like I mentioned, it's a really holistic approach with nutrition.
In terms of, some tips around how to get practitioners to that head role, the high performance manager role.
Yeah, I think rehab as a reconditioning coach or a rehab coach, like to some extent, you're sort of managing a program within a program sort of thing. So like, you're setting, schedules, you're setting program progressions for the athletes that you're working with. Athletes are going to be coming in and out of rehab at different stages and different times, and just managing their programs and even the staff's programs that are going to be, looking after them or taking them through different stages is important as well. I think probably gives you a really good understanding and collaboration with different staff and different practitioners. So, doctors, physios, the athlete themselves, obviously the coaches, and keeping, great communication in line with them, psychs and nutritionists. So that I think that just sort of has been a great grounding, for me personally to be able to step up into these roles.
How do you go about balancing those two aspects, whether it be, developing maybe the young players with their technique, but then also, developing your staff as well with skill sets?
Yeah, like I said, firstly, I'm quite aware that I'm still developing my management and leadership skills, but I have like great confidence, like in my knowledge and the experience I've built up over the years, especially in the rehab space, to share my technical philosophies with my group and my staff, and just put them out on the table for debate. Like I'm also very aware that there's multiple ways we can achieve a similar goal, and other great practitioners that I work with that are equally as experienced have done things slightly differently. So that's why, like, I'm really open to just sharing it, putting it on the table, discussing it, workshopping it, and those types of things, and then sort of fine tuning it and coming to a consensus as a group on, what's our philosophy, what's our processes. We've got like really talented group of people, so I have faith that they can go and execute, and have great trust in their ability to do their jobs. Just try and create an environment that allows them to be the best practitioner they can be and version of themselves, so that we have a great program for our athletes.
What advice would you give for performance managers that haven't worked in the AFL but are looking to, either transition to the AFL as a strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah, I think you do the basic investigations. There's a lot of sort of profiling of what AFL football entails, from an external GPS output and those types of things in the research. So like having a pretty good understanding of that can be a great starting point. Stay patient and sort of look to consistently show up and deliver sort of high quality. When you're working, getting paid, like the volunteer stuff, always sometimes can be your best job interview. So yeah, stay patient. The details matter, and look to keep developing yourself.